Welcome to Reflections on this Friday morning. It is about 20 past 8. The sun has just arisen and I'm halfway through my daily prayer walk. I've got my newish boots on. You remember the old ones letting water, had to get some more that were fit for purpose, and I'm all togged up and equipped. And I'm ready to engage with God and with His world as I take on my prayer walk. But now that I'm halfway through my daily prayer walk, I'm standing in the middle of a field, as you may have guessed, and from here on in I'm homeward bound, which is where I'm going with these reflections this morning. So I'll just pan round and show you where I am. Beautiful countryside that we're privileged to live near. Some of the trees by this little stream are thriving, not in the winter, but they're upright and standing firm, as Psalm 1 indicates. Those who live in the law of God do. There's some, sadly, casualties of the storms and have not survived quite so well, and now are on their way to not being fruitful at all. So homeward bound, that's where we're at today, and I shall set off walking, because you don't get anywhere nearer home if you don't move. You've got to be on the move. It's a very exciting day for us as a family. Not that I'm going to go on about my family, but today, even at this moment, our daughter Naomi and her husband and son, our grandson Levi, are on the move, moving house today from Bristol to their new home in Monkseaton near Whitley Bay. Oop, here's a stile. Better watch me step. This is not the one that I slipped off from, but it's fairly slippy this morning after the damp in the air overnight. Here's another stile. Right, here we are, walking down towards the very end of Kitswell Road in Lanchester by Low Meadows Farm. Here behind me, the gorse bushes and the blackberry bushes that sometimes little Levi, our grandson, and I have picked blackberries from and munched on our way round on this walk. Going home is a very powerful image. A few years ago I dabbled at writing novels and wrote a trilogy, the last one of which was called Going Home. Ooh, here's the most dangerous style of all. I'll just be careful so that I can continue my homeward journey. Survived it. Going home, powerful image about how we are in our equilibrium and the direction in which we are pointing. Of course, the prodigal son story is one of the most powerful stories that Jesus told about the way in which we are encouraged wherever we find ourselves to come home. And it may well be that with everything that we have been going through this last year, that you might be beginning to get a sense that we are on our way home, to where we feel safe, to where we feel better, to where we can find some peace once again. Maybe that resonates with you, and that some of the stories from the Bible that we have been sharing over these last weeks in Advent have rang a bell. Isaiah 9, I particularly linked up with the people who walked in darkness, have seen a great light. It's spoken to me about the gloom in which many people have found themselves trudging over these last months. The reading set for today is another prophecy of Isaiah chapter 2, the one about finding that swords become ploughshares. Something that's not always about battling on, but about living fruitfully in the world that God has given us. Another powerful image. The Isaiah 9 passage concludes with a great promise. Unto us a child is born, to us a son is given. It's a personalised thing. True, Isaiah 2,755 years ago was writing into a complicated political scenario where he's encouraging people to keep putting their trust in God's promises, that as they turn to him all would be well. Speaks to people in any situation of darkness that the light will come. But it's personalised. They have to take it to themselves. To us a child is born, to us a son is given. Sometimes little nuggets of wisdom and God breaking into our consciousness happen in the most unexpected ways. I got a Christmas letter from a lady we keep in touch with from our 10 years spent in Poynton in Cheshire. She writes with handwriting like the proverbial spider, so it's sometimes a letter, I confess, that we skim over a little. But I persevered with this particular one, and indeed God spoke through this lady who's called Hilary. She said that she had heard something on the radio that really spoke into her heart. The person speaking was picking up on the story of the shepherds hearing the great announcement by the angels on the hillside. And she said the two words that this particular person kept emphasising in this talk were to you. If you remember, it says, today in the town of David a Saviour has been born to you. It's personalised. We have to own that birth, that God with us part. We have to make it ours. We have to make it our good news, not just good news, but my good news. It matters to me. It changes me. I'm the one who's called to acknowledge that this has been done for me, for all of us. In the introduction to this video on the Facebook page, I mentioned the news story about two pastors in Burnley. Powerful story, and I do hope that you'll read the extended news story that I've given a link to in that introduction. But what they have found, and what you will have received from that news story, is that they are trying to enable people to own the love of God for themselves as they walk in darkness through this coronavirus era, but through their life of poverty, reaching out to people who feel bereft, and them recognising something of God in the midst of all of that. It's a wonderful story, just as we can produce wonderful stories too, as we play our part in lightening the gloom for all. God bless.